What's the deal, my people? You know it is the Don Tony Teflon. Feel the issues, guy. He's over on that side of me over there, right over there. Well, he's over there.
I'm one of the Yellowjackets, I guess.
You go to Yellowjackets, and you know we are live here on Teflon TV and Feel the Issues Guy channel. So make sure you subscribe to both channels and watch it from either channel that you want. If you want to super chat one of us, please go over to that channel. Throw that super chat over to that person. Come back, throw another one over here. We are about to get into this Yellowjackets season 3. I don't know why I said season 2 on the career. Season 3, Yellowjackets season 3, episode 8. Going down. We're going to get into all that and talk about episode 9 on top of all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Good to see you, Phil. How is everything?
I am still I almost wanted to call you when I watched this episode late Friday night and just freak out. I'm still sort of affected by the end of this episode, Tony. It's been a week of seeing this in my nightmares, Tony, seeing that face in my nightmares. I want to say, I agree with something you said in your review. This was more of sort of a catch up, getting business done episode, but that end part of this episode went from 0 to crazy so quickly. And I also want to finally applaud both actresses that play Shauna. Up until this point, they were both different kinds of fucked up, Island, I'm just calling her Island, whatever. Island, young Shauna and old Shauna were both different kinds of messed up people. In this episode, they finally became one for me, Tony. There was a synergy between, in this moment, when she said she's biting into her Slim Jim right there. When she turns her friend, what'd you say? Turns her friend into a little snack or something like that.
Yeah, like a Snickers bar.
Snickers bar. Yeah, she's too hungry. It's, yourself, Shauna. That's what it was. Snickers bar.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there. Usually when we hear them, especially what I was saying, especially when you hear the voices, right? The voices are so off between the both of them. You have the older Shona with the whispery Marilyn Monroe-esque type voice, and then you hear the wilderness Shona, and she's all gruff and everything else. That it kind of throws it off. But this time, right now, even with the voices being different, they did seem to embody the same exact character in this show, and I think that they did a really good job showing the crazy. And again, I hope that that maybe the whisper voice of Michael Jackson or whatever goes away and we hear our real voice eventually. Like if that she would have did it at that time, it would have been perfect. Like if she stopped all that whisper stuff when she bit her and all of a sudden, and then she's gotten to that voice, it would have been great. You know what I mean? But no, it was a really good episode altogether. But that last scene, definitely, it went from 1 to 100 really fast.
Yeah, man. Really fast. And Tony, I mean, I expected obviously a little bit of a confrontation in that moment, but that got me in the sense of I just wasn't expecting it. I was watching, okay, yeah, this is a cool episode. And then it just goes, bam. And that just came out of nowhere. I thought that embraced the dark comedy of it all too. And just everything. It's sort of, and I think that, I'm not going to say it saved the episode, but it elevated up to the same level that we've been on in these last 3. And you said it in a review. We talked about it last week. This show is figuring out what it is. A lot of shows, it takes a few seasons to figure it out. This show really in season 3 for me is flexing what this show does really well in these last few episodes. And I actually don't necessarily love what the show did in the middle of the season with how they killed what's her name? Falling down the stairs. Lottie, I didn't. That happened at the end of the episode. We saw it in a video. I didn't even realize it happened till I watched the next episode. In the scenes from last week. Maybe that's my poor watching, but the way I just felt like it could have been done in the episode better. I feel like the season started good. The Lottie thing was a slight dip for me, just because I just didn't like how they killed her. But then these last 3 episodes, Tony, have been this show at its best for me.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that they did was they made the present day as good as the wilderness. Wilderness has always been good, right? They've always done good things there. It's always been, now they stepped it up with the coach and everything else and all that, and they kept going this season. But it's always been the wilderness. I think this show had gotten to the point where nobody wanted to see the older characters. Everyone just wanted to go back to the wilderness. And the older stuff, this seemed like a sidebar, like something to pass time. You know what I mean? Even when you deal with Lottie and the cult and everything, none of that was really too great. You know what I mean? Greatly done. So now, finally, they have made these old ladies, old ladies, I don't want to say it like that, but the older versions of these characters more something I want to see. Now I want to see what happens after this fight. Now I want to see what goes on. I want to know what's going on in the hospital. Before, I never had that feeling about the older characters. I always were like, let's get back to the wilderness. Let's get back to the wilderness. But I think that they figured that out. Let's say what up to the people who are here rocking with us right now. We got Jen up in the building rocking with us. We got Lou up in here. Trez is in the building. The real rebel Eric is up in here. Isis Blue in the building rocking with us. Our homegirl, Miss Duncan the Toll, who is going to be joining us on the Duncan Egg live streams because we need an expert. And she is the foremost expert out of everyone. Our man Doc K is in the building rocking with us. Jackie C, as always, is in here rocking with us right now. Debbie Evie Bevy is up in here. Matthew Spruce is up in here. Tony is up in the police and everything else. Thank y'all for rocking with us.
Oh, and I just have to say, it's a small world after all. Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Is in the building rocking with us and everything. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way in. The more likes we get, the more YouTube spreads it out and more people get a chance to see it. Then that's the more people in the chat and everything. The phone lines. The phone lines are open. Y'all know the number. Phil will put it in there. We're using Phil's phone line. So the line is open. You can call us up and talk to us about this episode of Yellowjackets and what you believe is going to be. 781-990-8509 is the number. 781-990-8509 is the number. All right, Phil, let's go through what we've seen so far here. And we'll just take it from the characters and stuff like that. Dealing with Hannah and them inside of the wilderness and them there. What do you think? How's that gonna flow? And did that work for you the way that they had her captured and everything else?
It did to a certain extent. I liked how. Do you know what didn't work? Again, something you said in your review when they were getting to the point where everyone was getting ready to leave, and Lottie went, batshit Lottie, I axed someone in the back, and I definitely should not go home. And everyone's just like, fuck you, Lottie, we're still leaving. And then Shauna said, no, guys, I'm not leaving. They're like, fine, Shauna, stay. And then, no, you guys aren't all leaving too. And they all listened to her. Like in that moment, I'm like, fuck you. I would be so tell Shauna to go screw herself. What necessary is it fear, Tony? You were asking in your video, what does Shauna have on those? I want to examine that question because I don't know. Is it fear? Are they all just afraid of her? Like they had, like it's a cult kind of thing where it's like David Koreshi kind of stuff going on where they're drinking the Shauna Kool-Aid right now. And maybe that's why part of them they don't trust her. Could Shauna not die and be the pit girl? Is that ridiculous? Could they throw Shauna down there because she's annoying at a certain point and they just have to get out of there or something? Like I don't think.
Whoever goes down there is dead.
Yeah, it's dying.
Weird. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's weird because when you see them, they have the axes, they have the guns, and they have the bow. Shauna has none of those things, right? So it's not like she's a physical threat to any of them, right? And they're like, you're not going, and they all stop. Now, this is easily put the gun on Shauna and say, stop me, bitch. Let me see you stop me. All right, let me see you stop me do this. You know what I mean? And you would think it's that. Now, I think going with them would have been a wrong situation because I think Cody, because the bottom line is this.
Oh, yeah, he was planning on fucking them. He was planning on fucking them over.
If it's a 5-day hike or something like that.
If you believe
you got to go to sleep eventually on this hike. You ain't making it in one day. There's no way he's not going to wake up during the night and overpower whoever's up. Because the foolishness of it, what I didn't like, was that when they were digging the grave and the chick was daydreaming about the Slurpee, she had the gun like right on her side. Like they could have, and they had a shovel. They could have easily put the shovel to this chick's face, grabbed the gun, and now it's on. All right, and now we're gonna.
And he's planning it. Like you could see it in his eyes. I don't even know if he's being completely honest about how far the pickup point is. It could be closer. It could not be closer. I mean, I think he is, but he's definitely giving them one of those. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say. Okay. Oh, You need me to take you? We'll go tomorrow. Okay. And he's just sort of logging it. And I was hard on him last week, but he was better in this episode because he was less tough guy and more sort of outthinking the situation in the way he's just like, you want to kill me? Kill me. And I know I hadn't seen the trailer since you showed it, and I don't want to talk about it. But there's also one of those almost like From did these things where they have like a sneak peek from the episode. I don't know if you saw it, Tony. It's like I saw one scene from the episode. I don't know.
Yep,
I don't know. Is that safe to talk about? Is that a spoiler? Like, because
it's not really a spoiler because they put it out, so it's not. It's put out by Showtime. So
yeah, so he's very much like he's just like whatevering them. He's like, sure, whatever you want to do, girls. And so it's almost feeds into what you're saying there, Tony. The gears are going, and I'm going to be vague about it, but it's a scene where they're kind of talking to him, and he kind of whatevers them. Yep, sure, whatever, girls. We'll do that. So yeah, I think
as he should be able to. I mean, listen, you're an adult; these are children, and no matter whether they're 18, 19, they're still children. You know what I mean? As an adult, you should be able to manipulate them in any way that you really want to manipulate them. It may take you longer, but it's not a problem and everything else. Like, show me. Yeah, you can go on my channel and check my last video. I put the trailers on my last video if you're looking for the trailer. So yeah, on my last one. What we got 5 gifts for the Fill the Issue Guide membership.
Oh, I did that. That's from me.
Oh, I haven't gifted stuff in a while myself. Maybe I should put 5 gifts up there. Let me see if I can.
Oh, nice. Taryn Matthew just became a member. Thank you, Taryn, for ninjaing in my chat. Appreciate that, buddy.
That's what it is. You hold it down while I see if I can get this membership.
Yeah, I do think it was interesting with that. I also think, I mean, now how we know how that Hannah gets killed, and we've that's been checked a couple of times. It's interesting to see the way that
we know she's gonna die, but we don't know how she gets killed. Hannah.
No, I assume it's Shauna though, right?
It's either Shauna or Melissa because she was stressing the Melissa. I mean, what was the word? I'm sorry, I gotta pause that real quick. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm assuming that. Because she says to Melissa, you married the woman that you killed.
That you killed, yep.
No, she's saying that you killed because she killed that. Melissa actually physically does the killing, or she's going by everybody killed them. I only have 14 likes in here looking at my channel. That's not acceptable with the people out here. Hit that thumbs up, man. You know that it's not. I'm only gifting memberships and stuff. I could hit the thumbs up. That would be nice and stuff. We'll get 5 right now. There we go. All right, now I'm coming back. We get the 5 memberships to everybody out there. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, so that's the question. Was it them? Did she do that? Did Melissa kill her? Did she force? Is that what drives the final wedge in between them? Because she said she didn't like who she became. And now in the beginning, when she first was hitting on it, she's like, I like this new you. I like this person. I like you opening up. So she has to do something sinister. We know that she gets close to Hannah. So maybe, and we have seen Shauna do this before, right? She's the one who made Natalie cut up the coach. Right? She made a cut coach and cut him up for everybody else. Like she does these type things to people to get at them. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that she makes Melissa kill Hannah, and that's how Hannah dies. If she's not the pit girl Hannah, which is plausible, I guess. I wouldn't like it, but because no doubt that the chick that they showed run in the beginning is the same age as the girls. People could say a lot of things. I keep telling people like Hannah's just too old to play that part. They're like, she's not old. Compared to those girls, she's old. Like you can tell a young 18-year-old to a 35, 40-year-old, big difference. All right. In the way the facial structure is. I think it would be a cop-out if they did that. Maybe they do, but I think it's a cop-out if they did that. That would not be, to me, a fluid way to do it. But it has to be somebody of note, I think, that people are going to care about. It just can't be someone in the background that they kill off and then that's it. I don't think no one will care about that.
I think it's going to be one of the Yellowjackets when it comes down. But I do think, again, you unpack this. If you haven't seen these already, go to Teflon TV, watch his trailer breakdown because the trailer is not easy to find. But we see in the next episode a little bit more of a hint and a guide down that path to at least seeing the pit being made. So we are sort of heading in that direction. Tony, I think we have our first phone call of the night. This is from area code 330. Welcome to the goddamn show. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? This is Eric.
Hey, Eric. Welcome, buddy.
Real Rebel Eric.
What's going on, Real Rebel Eric? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? I finally caught up on the show, man. This is a tweaky one, bro. I finally caught up on it. But look, I got a lot to say, but I won't try to take too much of y'all time. But I want to start off with just saying my whole observation of the show is teenagers behaving very, very badly, right? So, and I feel like they was already messed up before the plane crash on season 1. Before the plane crash, they was already going through stuff. The girl that they injured, she probably was the luckiest one out of everybody through the whole show, right? And then on top of that, Misty, she destroys the box. No, you think they gonna circle back around to that? Because she the reason why they even was stuck there.
I think they will.
All the time. So they gotta circle back around to that.
I don't know if they will. I think it's just a done deal. You know what I mean? Like, I think they may say, because people would say the box is broken because of the crash. You know what I mean? I just don't see how they find out that she did that unless she tells them.
Yeah, and then her pushing the girl over the cliff, so they just never gonna find out that, right? But I feel like the coach was the only one that really was trying to let them know that it's the wilderness is something wrong with the wilderness. It ain't really I don't think it's a supernatural thing. I just think it's mixed in with the whatever that it's in the atmosphere. They got drugs, shrooms out there, all kind of stuff. And then it's mixing in with them being bad kids. I feel like the Little Rascals on that's the bad evil side of the Little Rascals or something. You know what I mean? It's just them behaving very badly, like I said before. And then Shauna, she got real bad postpartum. She don't care about nothing right now. She done lost her baby. She had a baby. She had a baby from 9 months out there. You lost your friend. It just seemed like stuff just going bad for them. Not really. I think it's their own doing, though. You know what I mean? Because they not good people. Like, they wasn't even really good teenagers, right? They was all kind of messed up, even as teenagers.
I agree. I think also real quick before you continue, you're a product of your environment, right? So if you're put in a certain situation and you're an asshole, certain situations can make that asshole come right out, right? So I think that maybe they had some recessed stuff, put in this wild situation where they're basically free to do what they want. This is what you become. You become that person that you really are. You've been trying to cover up in society.
Yes, even with Teresa or Teresa, whatever, however they call her, she was already seeing evil entity stuff even before she got there. Mm-hmm. So it's just like you got to look at season 1, 2 to kind of put stuff together. And it's not really Lottie. She was already doing seeing stuff before she got there too, right? Like she predicted something they were saying. So it's just
she's on drugs.
A lot of stuff was already kind of happening before they got there. Like you said, once they got in that environment, it didn't make it no better. It didn't make them come together. As soon as the plane crashed, they was already tripping. Misty cutting old dude's foot off. And like I said, I felt like he was the only one, logical one that was trying to they really tripping. I'm around these women, they crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was just tripping. Like, he thought that they was just really, really tripping. Y'all started eating the bodies. Like, this show was really, really crazy to me, man. It's really, really crazy to me. I'm not really a big fan of it. It's like down on my list of shows and stuff. But since I started watching it, I had to finish it. But like I said, it's just these teenagers behaving very, very, very badly. They not really thinking things through. And like you said, they get in this environment and they young, right?
Yeah.
They're young. It's like, it's like Little Rascals on steroids. And then one more thing, why 25 years later, where all of this stuff is starting to come out and stuff, why do you think it took so long for them to? So what they do? It's been 25 years. Y'all been holding in y'all craziness or willing it in, homing it in, for 25 years. Like, why now?
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to tell exactly why now, but it seems after 25 years, everybody's life just started falling apart all at the same exact time. Things came back to her and she lost, a congressional bid or whatever, that came back. All the stuff happened with Shauna. So this seems like at this 25-year point, for some reason, shit just hit the fan.
Yeah. And then even with Travis, what you think he was saying by Nat was right? You think they ever say anything about that?
About him?
What you think he was right? What you think he was right about? Why you think he was saying that?
I'm assuming Natalie, it connects to like her seeing the shit on the plane and saying that they're all cursed or something. Like when she went home, I could see Natalie being really negative and being like, yeah, we're all cursed. This thing's going to kill us eventually, blah, blah, blah. So we might as well do drugs. Who gives a fuck? And sort of like spurning that on with him. And then kind of being like, him saying, she's right. You're right. There is nothing, we're all going to be destroyed by this thing. That
goes back to what I was saying about it just being them just behaving badly, even before they got into the plane.
Yeah.
It's this entity thing that they trying to make it be. It's not that. It's just y'all just being bad people. Even Shauna. Now I do agree with you what you said about they finally got her character to match. Her teenager, because I was feeling like she was like an airhead as an adult. I'm like, why is she an airhead, but she like bossy, when she was a teenager. So I'm they finally starting to even her out, which I did like about that, because she was kind of like, you an airhead for real. I'm rocking with your daughter a little bit. I thought Jeff might have been the airhead, but shoot, he seemed more of an airhead than him at that point. But Jeff getting it together though.
Yeah, Jeff's definitely a doof. Jeff's the airhead in that relationship. There's no way around that. Jeff is King Doof. Yeah, I like him. He's a great fucking character, but he's like the king of the doofs.
Yeah. And then one more thing I want to say. We don't know who all made it who all got rescued. So they can always have, like the girl with the backwards hat. I kind of figured that they was gonna introduce her once she started messing with Shauna and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, Shauna gonna go and meet her or something. That was kind of easy to tell. But we don't know who all made it out. The black girl might have still made it out. It's a lot of characters they could always introduce that might be doing some tweaky stuff and messing with them and stuff. So it's a lot of stuff still can go on with this show. A lot. We don't know who all made it back.
Yep.
I thought it might have just been them who made it back until they started showing the girl with the backwards hat and stuff like that. So I just started kind of putting two and two together. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of more characters even coming in there, and them introducing the guys, the people with the frogs and stuff. That was kind of nice that they introduced to that, because I'm like, dang. And then they was about to get rescued. That's how you know it's just really just bad at this point. Y'all want to get rescued all of this time. Y'all feel like rescue come, and then y'all
they fuck it up.
Want to kill them or just stuff like that. And so that's why I keep saying it's just them behaving very, very badly. The environment messed them up. Like them being cold, being real cold, that could have messed up their brain and stuff like that. Plus them I think it's something with the wilderness too. I think might have heard Teflon talking about something with the like why they going in that cave and then they hallucinate and then all of that stuff. So it's something weird about that wilderness part too. Maybe they start finding out a little. It reminded me of what was that movie with? I mean that show with the hole in the ground. What was that called?
Oh,
It was the hole. They jumped in the hole.
It's out of range, but it ain't.
Yeah, out of range. It's something like that. You know, it got the then he was eating the black stuff, and then they would see trip out and stuff like that. So it had something to do with the the hole or wherever it was at. So it could be just something with that the wilderness that's making them be making their corruptness, if that's a word, be even more heightened, because I feel like they was already messed up before they got there. So,
all right, brother.
That's my opinion, man. I've been on watch it. I told you I was gonna call you. Hey, I'm rocking with y'all now. We here.
All right, let's do it. Thanks for the call.
No problem.
All right, Phil. Yeah, so we do know how many people are there, because you got to go by the first scene at the first feast with the antler queen. I do believe it was 7 people altogether that was there in that photo. So we're figuring the antler queen is right before they leave. So there's 7 there. So 7 have to make it back. We can add up the people who are already in the show. And we could see, I think the Melissa character was the one, like who that could have been. It could have been someone else. It didn't have to be Melissa, right? So that one was up for debate. But most of them all, like you go through them, right? You got Shauna,
Ty,
Van,
Lottie, Natalie,
Travis,
and
Melissa.
So were they the only survivors? So no more survivors?
I don't believe there'll be any more survivors. That's it. We have our okay. Oh, the other ones are all gonna die somehow before they get out. They ain't gonna make it. Because that could have been Mari. You know.
And Misty. So maybe. I guess there's 8.
There must be 8.
So
wait, 7 and then the queen. 7 next to the queen. So 7 people, 4 on one side, 3 on the other, then the queen in the middle.
So 8, yeah. So 8 of them.
8 altogether. So yeah.
Thank you, Jenna Johnson.
Without a shadow of doubt. Thank you, Jen. You know what I mean? So KP said when I saw the notification, I thought it was the April Fool's joke. We here every week. But hey, there you have it. There you have it. Yeah, so I think we're done introducing people. I think this is the last one that was going to be, unless there's 2 type of pickups and they all won't get picked up together. But again, it was explained, like Melissa's whole thing. She explained exactly that she did come back, but she faked her own death and somehow got away with it.
And then started dating Hannah's daughter, which is weird. No matter how you rationalize that, Hillary Swank, it's weird. It's. I agree with Shauna, and that's the only time I've agreed with Shauna in a long time. When she's like, "Dude, that's weird. It's weird, dude. It's weird if you're dating the person you had a hand. If you didn't even if she wasn't the one that directly killed her, Tony. If she had a hand in the murder, like they all did it, and now she's married to the daughter." Without telling her, that is weird and creepy. That is weird and creepy.
We can't broach that subject. How do you broach that subject?
And you don't do it all together. You walk away from the situation because you're creepy and weird. Yeah, you can't. That makes me not trust her altogether. If she can lie about that, like fake her own death and do all that, everything she says to Shauna has to be suspect. Like everything makes her suspect because she's lying to her fucking wife about killing her wife's damn mother, dude.
Lying about her identity.
Her identity. She killed herself. And she's rationalizing it in very like, yeah, I mean, I just thought that was the right thing to do. It's so like she definitely killed Lottie. Like I know you have different theories, but I'm after this episode, I more believe that she killed Lottie. Maybe even because Lottie's the one that killed Hannah as revenge for the daughter, to pay back for the daughter, like the daughter, I had to kill who killed the mother. Maybe it was Lottie that kills Hannah. And but who knows? I don't know. That's my working head canon at the moment.
Yeah, because you know, she didn't play the tape for the daughter. Had the tape. And again, I told y'all exactly how that whole thing was going to go. I told you, watch my video, the exact thing that happened, word for word, of how she got the tape and everything else. I told you exactly that was the way it was going to go down. And that is exactly what happened.
I fucking told you. I fucking told you.
God, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm doing my best. Habit.
And that is the way it happened. You know, he did it and everything else and all that good stuff. So that, you know, that was obvious. That was good. Again, you were right. It's not. I mean, the title, what was the title episode? Like A Normal Life. Obviously, this life is not normal. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Again, I want to defend Melissa. I really don't, but I understand not being associated with that whole thing anymore. But I think you don't fake your death in that. I think you just change your name.
Tony, I agree with you not being associated with the whole thing, but that's not what she's doing. She's literally like having sex with someone that got murdered's daughter out there and like getting married to her. And like she's
murdered my daughter.
You know what I mean? She's she's getting away from it by going deeper into it in a more fucked up way. Like it's like okay, I'm gonna murder someone and then make friends with their daughter and get married to them. Like it's creepy.
It's got to be such a scary life every day that you're gonna get discovered. Like it's to live like that every day. That anytime you get pulled over by the cops in the car, any little thing could happen. You get bagged up. You can't go on you can't leave the country. You can't do no passport shit. You can't do anything like that because you can get bagged up.
And Tony, it wasn't even her like worst relationship ever. That I don't even have it. I thought I was gonna have the picture right there. Like it's not worse than a relationship with Steve Sanders. So you know, like it's that's even worse. You know, like
yeah, 100%. Listen, Shauna, she hasn't had a lot of luck, right? In relationships and everything else, you know, dealing with Shauna and everything else and all that. But the one thing I did like about that scene when they did show it was that, you know, she was all, you don't know who house you broke into. And when she sees Shauna, she was like, oh shit. She's like, she was like, oh shit.
Like anybody else in the world, you know?
Anyone else she would have been cool with. But, you know, fighting it. But Shauna brought back those flashbacks. Shauna's like the gooch in different strokes. You know, she just brings back those childish fears of you. When you get beat up by somebody when you're a kid and they constantly beat you up, you either grow out of it, get bigger than them, and can beat that person's ass, or you just constantly start getting flashbacks of this person being able to belittle you and do all of that.
I don't know if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, but Marshall, played by Jason Segel, is like a very large guy. Like Jason Segel is very big, you know, he's like 6'3", 6'4", or something. And he ends up having to deal with his father's funeral with his bully. And his bully plays by like this guy that's like half his size. And he's like bullying him through the whole episode. And it's because when he was younger, this kid used to bully him. And it doesn't matter. Like when you're young, you could even grow bigger and get tougher, but then that person has that thing over you. It, you know, maybe it's a family member that sort of like knows how to undercut you and something you say in the moment. You know, certain people like when you're younger, they just know you, you know, it's like why you can never beat like, you know, your dad in poker or something. I was like, I'm going to fucking kill you in this game. You know, I read you, I changed your goddamn diaper. I'm going to take your money. You know, it's just those kind of things. You know, I sometimes you just have somebody, you know, you beat them,
and like Shauna, and for good reason to be afraid of Shauna. You've seen everything that happened there. What Shauna's possible of. You've seen her kick the shit out of Lottie. Like she wailed the shit out of Lottie really bad, even though Lottie didn't even fight back. Like Lottie just let her beat her up, and that's one thing I think that people ain't really fully grasping. Like Shauna's kicking ass, but people are letting her beat up. This is one time where she actually fought back on her, and Shauna still got the upper hand on her because Shauna's just Shauna just got that. Some people have this fight in them.
She's got a force of nature, Tony. Like it's hard to explain.
Yeah, like she's going all the way. You gotta beat that person with a bat. You got to shoot them. You got some people, they're going all out, no matter what it takes, like bite you literally or whatever it takes. They're going all out.
Do you know what it is like, Tony? It's that line in De Niro has it when he's talking about Nicky Santoro, talking about Joe Pesci's character in Casino. Like, if you're fighting Nicky, you better go for this. You better go for that. Like Nicky Santoro's character in that, like Joe Pesci's character in pretty much every mafia movie is like that. That's the kind of character we're talking about. If you want to go against Joe Pesci in a mafia movie, you better be ready to fucking bring it. And Sean is like Joe Pesci out there. And basically what I'm saying, Tony, is Sean is the Joe Pesci of
Yellowjackets.
Of Yellowjackets. That's what I'm saying.
Colby funny.
She's the one that would do that. She's the one that would do that. She'd shoot Spider, like cold fucking blooded. She'd shoot Spider.
100%. You shot Spider. You gonna take that from him? You gonna take that from him?
Oh, you want me to dig a hole? I'll dig a hole. It's not the first hole I've dug. Fuck you. You know.
What am I gonna do? I'm a good shot.
You could totally see that. She's
100%.
That's what you mean. And you're 100% correct. She has, and I think that answers a question we had earlier tonight, Tony, or I proposed earlier that you asked in your video. Why do they follow her? Or why are they afraid of her? Why do they listen to her in that situation? Because she has that. They're afraid of her. The only one that isn't is Natalie, and Natalie realizes you've got the guns. You may have the guns, but I have the numbers. In that moment, to quote the Doors. And I think
you need Travis. You just need Travis.
Travis
and Natalie had Travis.
And he wants to go. And he wants to go, Tony. Travis is the weirdest one to me. At least we got more Travis in this episode. This was the most we've got Travis in 2 seasons. We actually got like a scene with him and getting to see what he thinks. But Travis is the key to the situation because he wants out of there more than anybody.
Without a doubt. And you would think he's the muscle. Like he could just go over there and really beat showing it down if he truly wanted to and just keep it moving and say, we were at it. Right? That's the way it is. But Travis has been neutered by these ladies. Like he's just done. Like even when he comes back now, Akila could have dropped dime on him and told him that, Travis was trying to get us out of here. Travis was going to leave without all y'all. She might. Yeah, and she protected him and said, no, we were on the way. We got mixed up or whatever and everything else. That might come back to get Akia. Now, what do you think about the scene, Akia's vision of the dead animals all in there and that the animals all die in there? Because I guess we got to go by her whatever dream sequences that she gets that predict the future for this whole thing. We have the last 2 is basically the bear one, and we figure that's Kodiak, but the three eyes, I don't understand what the 3 eye on the bear would be. We understand what a third eye is and stuff, but how that plays in, and then the dead animals inside the place that she gets the vision of and everything.
Well, the dead animals, I think probably is the future that all of them are dead. I mean, like, I don't want to be like too stupid on the nose, but that every one of the Yellowjackets, except for those 8, die. Kind of like everyone that stays around. If you stay, I think it's the opposite of what they think, where it's if they leave, they're going to die. I think it's if they stay, all of them are going to die. There's no surviving that place. At least that's what I got out of it. How about yourself, Tony? What
I mean, I don't know why you would give a goddamn at those animals. Like, let me tell you something, man. If I'm leaving, I don't give a goddamn what happens to those animals. I'll let them all free.
Oh no, I mean like if they stay, all the Yellowjackets will die. Like all the animals die. I mean like all the people will end up dying.
Yeah. So if there was something like if you leave with this guy, then all you guys are gonna die. Then I can get into it because Kodiak could take them all out, and that's not the right time to leave with him because if you leave with him, you can all die. If it took it that way, that would make more sense to me and everything else. You know what I mean? That's the way I would see it, and that's why it's not. And again, I don't think it's a good idea to leave with Kodiak. In the end, I think that he would take them all out. It'd be like 9 bodies in the Mexican morgue. Like one person will keep dying at the end of the night.
I think he's planning on it already. Like I talked about this earlier. I think he's already thinking about it.
Well, Hannah, you think that it's still because I said before that she was going to go with the mother instincts on him You think she's gonna lean into that a little bit more when we see it?
I don't know. Like from the last episode, what we've got for her, I think she's at this point anyway. Maybe it will change over time depending on how long she survives. But at this point, I think she's still overwhelmed at the fact that her boyfriend just got an axe to the back of the head, and like she seems like she's walking on damn eggshells right now. You know,
Yeah,
so she's too scared to make a play, it seems. But I do think if she starts to feel comfortable, like if she eventually if one of the endpoints of this season is her betraying Kodiak, whatever his name is, if she betrays him by the end of the season, I think we could see that early next season with her. I think
so. That leads me to this question: do you think that we get a time jump, or do you think they're going to just play out this season? Because we know that the pit girl thing happens when there's snow on the floor. There's no snow on the floor, but we see in the preview that Travis does make the spikes for the pit, and he's looking over the pit, as people can see in the thumbnail. He's looking over the pit. Next episode, we still need snowfall. So do they time jump to that point, or do you think they just go through this season and then pick up the end of the pit girl thing in the beginning of next season?
I think they end up picking up. I think we do get maybe one little clue before the end of the season, but I think this season ends with the conclusion of the arc that we have, right? Okay, two things, because for the first time, Tony, you mentioned this earlier, and you're right. I'm invested in both storylines. So there's two different endings here. So the jungle ending, the island ending, whatever, I think that ends with whatever the conclusion with Kodiak dying, with the end of that storyline, and Shauna showing more power, having more control over the situation. Perhaps maybe one or two of the other Yellowjackets end up dying somehow too. Like Kodiak takes out a couple of them along the way. And I think the adult storyline, I don't know where the adult storyline, Van probably dies, right? I mean, we're going to get to that.
Van's got to go. I think that, when we seen in this episode, they trying to do the whole wilderness thing. So when the whole story with her and Ty is that Ty keeps believing that every time they sacrifice someone or someone dies, the power goes back to her and she gets better. And they threw the card on the floor. They did all that stuff, and that person who's going to die and everything else. And they showed signs because someone did die. The guy got hit by the car when he chased that after him. And then all of a sudden, she goes into a little bit of remission. So I think that leads Ty and them to believe, like, hey, this shit is real. But I think right now the reality really sets in when this guy who died in the other room, which I thought was a funny ass line when she goes, does that count?
That count? Right. So to go to that, because you asked a question in your video, and I wanted to address this. I don't think from this episode I have a new opinion of evil Ty versus good Ty. Instead of thinking that evil Ty was out the whole time, now I'm thinking last week in that scene, was this good enough? All of that was good Ty. And then evil Ty took over, and obviously we see her in this episode, but I do think we've seen her at times. But I do think most of this season we've probably been seeing good Ty thinking that she can handle this. And evil Ty shows up to do the dirty work. And in this situation, good Ty tried to be like, I can do this. I can smother this dude that's going to die already. And she couldn't do it. And as you were saying, like when she says, I'm going to take over because you can't handle it, it's saying you couldn't smother the dude. So I'm going to do better. But
yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right. 100% right on that. I think that Van needs to, I don't want Van to die, but I think it needs just to disprove this wilderness thing. To show that has nothing to do with anything and you can't fight the inevitable. And that would make Ty completely turn herself to the dark side, Ty, forever after that, when this chick goes away. And I think we could lead into that next season, that this is dark side Ty the whole time going forward till the end of the season because of the death of Van and everything. It would be hard for me to see Van coming back. If they do, then that leads on to more of the wilderness situation where they can just keep saying, oh, the wilderness saved her, and they can keep drilling that home. I don't know if you can drill that home anymore. I think if you stretch it out anymore to next season, it's going to lose something. So I think they need to wrap that storyline up right there with her and everything else. And basically, in the end, Shauna is leading all of them to that eventual demise. When you see Shauna inside the supermarket, and you got those moths with the skulls on their backs up there in the light, and then she goes, they're attracted to the light, but it's a light that kills them. I think that's Shauna. Shauna is the light that's going to kill all of them and eventually take them all out. And everything that she did, Van running around and jumping in the car, all these things lead to her death. Basically, following Shauna is leading to Van's death. Lottie getting back involved with Shauna leads to Lottie's death. Natalie getting back involved with Shauna leads to Natalie's death. And I think that is what it is. Shauna is that light that they're all attracted to, but she's leading them all to their death in the end.
I think with the situation with Van, this is a very, very important something you're saying is indicative of how important something is right now. If Van has another turnaround, we have to relook at everything there actually being a supernatural element, like a for real supernatural element. Everything up until now could be looked at as somewhat perspective, and I like it. I like how they set up. It could be one thing, it could be the other thing, and they're leaning more into this is all Sean. It's all in your head. It's all this. It's all that. You know, it's mental health stuff mixed with post traumatic, like all this shit, and being stuck in a place and getting stir crazy, whatever, and having the perception. You know, that's with everything with the frogs and thinking they're monsters or weird sounds or whatever. So I think if it's not so much that they need to finish this off for me, it's more that they need to make a choice. They got to a point in this story, Tony, where they can choose to go in one of two directions. I tend to agree with you that this show is not supernatural. It's very much what I just said. So I think, unfortunately, for those reasons, Van does have to die. And that needs to 100% of what you said. And Ty needs to go full bad Ty, and then bad Ty mixed with bad Shauna are going to create some really bad decisions for the remaining living Yellowjackets that are either going to all get killed or be in jail by the end of this fucking thing.
But I think that, you know, when you deal with Ty and her visions, I think the guy, the ice cream man with no face, did something to her when she was young.
Yeah,
I think he abused her when she was young, and that's why that ice cream man comes back. That's why it's her monster. I think that eventually they'll bring up that thing.
Yeah, that thing she sees behind her. In the last episode, there was like I was watching it with somebody, and I was like, "What the hell is that thing behind Ty?" Because I keep forget that we actually visually see that. It's interesting that we do visually see that. Is that real, or is that?
I think it's in her head. I think it's that guy. I think traumatized her. He was an ice cream man who molested her and traumatized her. And that's what she sees him as, that monster since she was a kid. And he's been haunting her ever since. You know, I think that's what it is. If you watch 9 Bodies in the Mexican Morgue, people have watched it. I don't want to give away anything. But there's a character who actually goes through something like that in there and everything else. So I think that's what happened to her. Somehow she went out to get ice cream. She trusted the guy, and this ice cream man did something to her. And that's why he keeps coming back and haunting her and everything else. That's what it is and everything else. What up to Why So Curious, who joined us. And we also got Dita, the manager, also joined us up in this piece too. Thank y'all. And Crime, a real cinema therapy is in the building. Rocking with us and everything.
Welcome to my good buddy, Tim.
And the real Rebel Eric, thank you for the super chat. Sean also has a sticky banded airhead. Yeah, Sean is a nut. I would say before we go into anything, just let me say, in case no one else, I want to give y'all a chance, the opportunity. There are television shows that come on and then there are shows that move the needle, push the boundaries of television shows, push television forward, and become more than just television shows, become like works of art in themselves.
Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire.
Even 24, I would say,
24.
Down
Yep.
of what they got. 24 doesn't get a lot of credit, but it did.
100%. I'm a huge 24 fan, Tony. I would love to go back and do a rewatch with you. That's why I like 24. It's great.
No doubt. This show, Adolescence, on Netflix, the miniseries it is, I think it's 4 episodes, is got to be one of the greatest shows I have, if not the greatest. I'm saying it's top 1, 2 now.
Interesting.
It's the miniseries, only 4 episodes, so you really can't compare it to stuff like Breaking Bad and all that stuff we did season after season. But for these 4 episodes, these 4 episodes is one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen in television history. And if you have not watched this show, and not only is that, Phil, they shot this show with 1 camera and never 1 cut for the whole show. So every episode is not 1 cut.
Oh, so it's got like the Birdman thing where it's all like simultaneous shot.
It's all simultaneous, 1 camera shot for the whole episode every time, no cuts. And they go inside of cars. They're driving around. It's not like they're in a room.
Tony, are you gonna make me renew my Netflix subscription? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do it. You can't do that. We can't do that with Netflix. You can't fucking do that. Otherwise, I would. I'd fucking do that. I can't do that with Netflix.
I would say that this show is going to win every award this year, without a shadow of a doubt. And for any show to beat this show, in my opinion, for being best show of the year, like I'm talking like Severance and all. If you're just looking for a straight show, there's no better show that I've seen probably, I would say, 10 years straight up, if not longer. It is an amazing job.
So just to get a point of reference for the way you're describing it. So you're saying it's Wire level for you.
It is Wire level. I mean, if you want to, it's on the level of any one of these shows that you ever watch.
I will definitely check it out. I will absolutely check it out.
Everything about it is amazing, and it's just an amazing. It's only 4 episodes, and it's just an amazing situation, man. Without a shadow of a doubt, you know what I mean? It's a really good show. I mean, more than really good. It's bravo. It's a piece of art. Like, you know, can you call The Wire a piece of art? Maybe. This is literally a piece of art. It's like it's art in storytelling and art in camera direction and everything else. It's just a straight piece of art, the whole thing. So I don't shout out a lot of shows, but I'm telling you, watch this show, and I will tell you, it's just something to watch and behold how good this show really is.
Okay,
these 4 episodes. It's like a long movie. These 4 episodes. It's a really good show, but definitely check it out. All right, we'll go back to you, and when you do check it out, Phil, we'll come on and do a live stream about it and talk about everything, go through. All right, back.
I have my ways of watching it without Netflix. I'm not gonna say. You want a toe, Tony? I can get you a toe by the end of the day. You know, I'll get your toe by the end of the day.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, there's a will. I'll find a way. I'll find a way to watch it sometime in the next week or so.
All right, we got Real Cinema Therapy. Again, you can call up if you want to ask questions. We're here to talk to you. Tony, I think the character had been traumatized and either created a delusion of the wilderness being their savior, or those who don't believe they become the savior of the others, like Shauna. I agree, partly because Lottie is the one who put this in everybody's head with this wilderness stuff, because she went out there with 1 knife and killed a bear, which is unheard of. Like, that's not natural. It shouldn't have happened. And I think when she went out there and killed the bear with 1 shot, she didn't even battle the bear. Leonardo DiCaprio got his ass kicked by the bear. All right, Shauna just goes out there
in the great outdoors. They shot the bear in the ass and it ran off. They couldn't kill the bear. You know, like it's tough to kill a bear, dude.
Yeah, and she just takes out 1 shot, and I think that's what put everybody on. I think that combined with mushrooms and everything else cocaine is a hell of a drug, as Rick James will tell you. And when these kids are on drugs, you start to believe shit. And I think also it's a hive mind thing, right? You once you get into this group mentality, you start to drink the Kool-Aid also because you're with everybody else and you want to survive too, right? So you don't want to stand out, stick out, and everything else, especially when they're eating people, right? You got to give people every reason not to eat you. And if you say, I don't believe in this, now you have this served your left butt cheek up on a platter. You know what I mean? So you got to just go with the flow at this point. And if you go with the flow long enough, you might start believing it. What do you think about that, Phil?
I think that's absolutely correct. So I was distracted by the Big Lebowski references in the live chat. Sorry, but I could not agree with you more in that situation. I think Lottie is a problem. Lottie is a fucking problem, Tony, and I don't know how you deal with her in this situation. Could Lottie be in the pit? Could they put Lottie in the pit because of causing way too many fucking problems? Like, I have a question, just because it's been a while since I saw the beginning of the series with the pit and all of that sort of stuff. Someone is cooking downstairs and it smells delicious. Neighbors, if you're listening to this, your food smells fucking delicious. Do we see that the person at the bottom of the pit is killed, or we just see them at the bottom of the pit and they cut? Do we actually?
They're dead because their body is the spikes are right through their body. You see the hand shaking and stop.
Okay, so you see that the person is actually dead. Okay,
the person is actually dead. There's no surviving, and they're also wearing Jackie's necklace.
Okay,
like what they show. They show Jackie's necklace. They show the hand move, twitch, and then the hand stops. The spikes are through the legs and everything else.
Is there any way that could be in modern times, and that's Shauna down at the end of the pit, and they just all decide to gang up on her and kill her ass?
The craziest thing I said in modern times that I heard was that it was Callie.
That yeah, we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. It was Callie, yeah.
Callie gets back in there. It can't be Shauna because, again, it was a young girl, and the girl was extremely skinny at this time. The actress who plays Shauna is not extremely skinny. I mean, she's built like women I date, but she's not extremely skinny. So I can't. There's no way that would coalesce.
No, it wasn't her.
She's too fleet of foot. You know what I mean? So there's no way that this chick is running like that. You know, it's not Shauna. Shauna ain't going out like that. They ain't no way going out here like this. This chick
how do you think Shauna goes out? You think she dies, or you think she goes to jail? Because I've heard you present both. What is your?
She's gonna go to jail. Someone's got to go to jail for something, and the fact that she was the first one who murdered someone, there's gonna be some crime that comes back to put her in jail. Someone's got to get shamed by this. Like some family needs to be shamed. We heard her husband say the reason why people don't like him is because of Shauna, and I think
he's gonna rat. I think he's gonna rat on her for stabbing the dude. I think when it really comes down to it, like he's just
culpable too.
Yeah, and the fucked upness is killing him. He wants to be a good man inside. I'm sorry, I'm fucking stupid, but like, you know what I mean? Like, he is haunted. Like the great Gazoo is on his shoulder, Tony, being like, you need to do the right thing, do face, and he's gonna like want to do the right thing. Yeah, dumb. Thank you. That's a better line, dumb. You're going to do the right thing, dumb. Yes. 100% dumb. But yes, like I feel like he is gonna have a attack of conscience at some point, Tony, and fuck this all up for Shauna. At least that's my sort of headcanon thing that I'm going on at the moment. I think he is the weakest link, and he will end up ratting her out at some point. But
I think that Shauna. I think in the end, Shauna will take the fall, whether for Callie for killing Lottie, but Shauna will take it. She'll take the rap in order for them not to go to jail.
You think way more highly of Shauna than I do.
I think that's Shauna's last. Not that she gets redemption, but in the end, in any show, right? You can't have a show who's a piece of shit be a piece of shit at the end of the show. It's just not fulfilling. Again, half-baked, right? We know the ending was supposed to be that he was still smoking weed. And they changed it and said, wait a second, that's no ending. He's supposed to go off with Mary Jane and smoke his weed and everything else. It has to be an ending. And the ending, they changed it. All right, he gives up weed for Mary Jane, right? So it has to be something like that. She has, even though she can't be redeemed in any way for whatever she's done, there has to be something that she's willing to do to change it. Like she does have a heart in a sense. And I think that to take the fall for Callie or someone, if Callie killed Lottie, and then she's like, my life has already been fucked up. I've fucked up my whole life. You know, especially when you look at the scene again of her in the supermarket with the butt cheeks and the feet and everything else and the fingers and all that going down the conveyor belt. Like, listen, I'm shit. My life is turned up to shit. I don't want this to happen to my daughter. I'll take the rap for my daughter and just go to jail and call it a day. And that's it. And she goes off to prison. Because if anyone can hit prison, it's gonna be Shona. Like Shona Mitzi, I don't think she could make it in prison. You know, but Shona making it in prison. Like Shona's gonna run the whole prison. Like it's a wrap. She's already willing to be gay. She's done that already. It's not gonna be that big of a change for her in her life. She's just gonna run shit in prison because any chick mess with her, I mean, you gotta have to shift her up and take her out.
Yeah, she's gonna be like the Ada BC of Orange is the New Black. She's gonna come in there and like just run that place. You know, she's like tits. I've got tits. I got tits everywhere. You know, like she's gonna run that place.
Shona go to prison. Shona's just gonna run to prison, get herself a girlfriend, and then that's her life. And that's how it ends up. It's just a done deal for her. You know, so I think I could see it ending that way for her. Mitzi makes it out of here. She's all right when she makes it out of here. That's just the way it goes. No, I don't want to see that guy's face again.
Sorry.
I never want to see it. I don't never want to see it. I don't even know what happened to her. I wouldn't even meet that actor. Ever. Like he walked down the block, that actor.
He's such an amazing actor. He plays a character on Lost as well, and he's like a priest, like a calm dude. Like it's totally different vibe. Mr. Echo on Lost.
Yeah, I don't believe him. All right.
You're like you're not fooling me. You're fucking at a PC, motherfucker.
No. The only thing he'd be echoing is if he bends you over and looks inside you. Hello. Yeah, no, he'll make you echo. That guy. I'm staying away from him. I don't want to do that motherfucker.
Keep me out of Anna BC's cell.
I don't want nothing to do. I wouldn't walk down the block. He can't come down. If there's a convention he was at, and I'm not showing up. I'm never showing up. You got to go away.
So Jay Sleek asks a question, and this is kind of what we're talking about. So have they revealed the horror in the show to be real or imagined yet? It's yet to be determined. Everything that we've seen so far leans towards imagined, but then they throw stuff in, Tony, that's like maybe it is. So with Van, getting back to Van for a second, with Van and everything to do with Ty and all this stuff and Evil Ty taking over now, does Evil Ty go and kill somebody else right now? Like from this point on, what is the next thing that we see Ty do? Does Ty go and murder somebody else?
I just don't think there is anyone for her to murder. I think that Van's gonna die straight up in there. I don't think they're already talking about hospice for her. So hospice care can last a little bit. You know how long exactly hospice care
doesn't last long. Doesn't last long.
It can last a long time. It can be quick. But I think that she's gonna go out, man. I think she's gonna go out quick. I don't know if they kill her off next episode, but before the season's done, I think Van's got to be out of here and stuff. I don't know. You know, they didn't even really show her in the trailer. They showed like really two quick things about her.
I mean, I think they didn't have her. You mentioned they didn't have her in this episode, but they talked about her. I think they were just saving money for Hilary Swank. I mean, Hilary Swank probably costs a pretty penny to have on the show, so they have to save money on her episodes. Do you think
a lot though, Hilary Swank?
I know, but she's still like an Oscar winner, so she's probably gets paid a good chunk to be on the show. Just question about that. Do you think Hilary Swank stays on the show into next season, or do you think her arc is finished in these next two episodes? Does she die?
One of them's got to go in the next two episodes. I don't think that she makes it. It's not going to be Shauna, so obviously it's going to be Hillary. I think she and this is the downfall begins. You know what I mean? Like Shauna went too far this time. You know what I'm saying?
Shauna ends up killing, or someone ends up killing her before the.
It has to go down where this woman Hannah, who they killed, who was a nice woman, gets retribution somehow, right? So this can cause this chick to come after him. You killed my wife, and indirectly find out everything else, and then wind up taking them down for the death of the mother and everything else.
Yeah,
You know?
that does make a lot of sense to eventually get to that point. So something happens to Hillary, theoretically, I'm just spitballing here. So something theoretically happens to Hillary Swank's character, but what if we get the feeling that all of this is like Hannah's daughter is tracking her this whole time? Like we see in the trailer, as you showed, that she takes her out of the house, takes her on a road trip of some sort, maybe taking her out to the Pine Barrens to kill her or whatever, like the Russian in The Sopranos. And she's taking her out to the Pine Barrens. You put the control on the console, right? And then you get this. Oh, we got a super chat. Let me shut up. We got another super chat.
Yeah, the real rebel Eric. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. I agree. Adolescence was phenomenal. And also kids behaving very badly. One shot, no cut, just phenomenal. Adolescence. Yeah, the adolescence is amazing. Is an amazing show. It really is. If we go watch it, it's a masterpiece of cinema. It's just one of those movies that's just a man. You know, when it's not a movie, it's a television show. When you look at the great masterpiece like Shawshank Redemption, or when you know it when you see it, that this is a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece.
You're putting in like Shawshank, Godfather, Goodfellas.
When you watch it, you'll see it's really a masterpiece.
Okay.
It really is. I mean, it's not a shit ton of action or anything else like that, but it truly is a masterpiece.
Jenna says if she doesn't die, Shauna tells Alex, sparking a war with all the lies being exposed. I mean, she definitely needs to kill. Hillary Swank is going to die. Some part of me, and I'm completely going out of nowhere, some part of me thinks Misty ends up killing her just because Misty's like, oh, I'll clean up your mess, and ends up like murdering or something. And like Misty is like the executioner.
Real quick, Phil. That's what Misty said to her the whole time, and she left without her.
Yep.
So she's not going to be there to clean up her mess.
Clean up her mess. That's true. That's true, Tony.
Right?
That's very true, dude.
Specifically to her that I'm here to clean up your mess, and she left without her. So she's not going to be able to clean it up for her. I think that this is the step too far for her. And I think that's what it's all going to. In the end, Hannah's daughter is going to get the drop on her and somehow bring her in for everything else, and that's how it goes. But I think that this one step was a step too far for it. For Shauna, and this eventually leads to the downfall of Shauna and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, especially if there's Hillary Swank's character, Melissa, seems to. I mean, in that moment at the end, up until that moment at the end, she seemed to have like a vibe, like I have something on you, Shauna, or so I think maybe maybe her girlfriend, her wife is tracking her in some way. So because. You said in the trailer, there's a car that pulls up. I know some people have thought maybe it's Elijah Wood's character, but it could also be, what's Hannah's daughter's name? What's the daughter's name?
It's Alex, right? Alex. It's a boy's name. It's a boy's name.
So maybe it's Alex because Alex is somehow like, tracking her phone or something like that. Who knows? I do think Alex needs to get involved in here, but the real question is, another question, Tony, is what's going to happen when Alex finds out who Melissa really is?
If she's dead, she's not going to care. Like, in the end, that's her wife right off the bat. Even if Shauna tells her the truth, the bottom line is she killed her mother. Now you killed my wife, you ruined my life by telling me this secret, and you killed my mother. Those trump anything Shauna could say. You know what I mean? Those trump. It's too much. Someone has to pay for this shit. You know what I mean? And that's who's gonna have to come back. Like you would think the coach, his family want revenge. Can't get no revenge for that, right? Javi's family can't get no revenge. They eat Javi, and the brother kills himself. Can't get no revenge.
That's why Travis shuts up.
Huh?
I was gonna say that's why Travis shuts up. So sorry, just bad. Travis shuts up because he saw what happened to Javi.
Yeah.
You want to know what Travis? Yeah, he ate. Like, he saw what happens when someone doesn't agree with the situation. They get fucking
He ate
ate.
his brother. He ate his own brother.
So Travis is keeping his damn fucking mouth shut because he knows that they're gonna eat Javi. They'd eat his ass too. They don't give a fuck.
100%. No, 100%. I agree with you on that. So yeah, it's just too much. It would just be way too much. I think that someone has to get the up and comings from this, and I think it's gonna be shown in the end. And I think that her redemption will be no matter what. She takes everything. Like Weebay. Like Weebay did. I take that, Weebay. I take that murder. I take that murder. I take that murder. I did that one. I did that one. They already got you for one. You're never getting out anyway. And Weebay just like, yep, give me that one. Give me that one. I did that one. Or give me that one. Give me that one. Take all the murders. I think Shauna take it all on her chest when she gets bagged up for everything and just say, it was on me.
I hope you're right, because that would be an honorable end to Shauna's character. I tend to think it might go a different direction when her family abandons her because she's going to go too far, and her family comes to a point where they just cannot abide this bullshit anymore, and she goes rogue. I think she's going to go out more in like a I don't give a fuck rationalization sort of hellfire of thinking that everyone's against her, and go out mean, Tony, not good, and they're gonna need to take her out.
She'll kill her husband if she's gonna go out mean. Like, she's gonna take him out.
That's what I'm saying. And then maybe the daughter turns on her. That I'm gonna be right back when she can grab a drink.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, no, Shauna is capable of anything. I mean, there's really nothing we can say that wouldn't make sense for Shauna to do. She is capable of anything that they could try to throw at us in this whole show. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. In the end, when you look at characters in shows, no matter really who the character is or how bad that character is, eventually, especially when they're the main character, you have to have some type of arc for them. You have to have some type of peak of badness, and then you got to have them leveling out, coming down, and everything else. Everyone has to get their up and comings. You know what I mean? There's only rare shows where the villain gets away with it, right? Where the villain wins and it gets away with it, but then usually as a sequel, he gets benched and gets bagged up, no matter what it is, right? So it's very rare when the villain
There's
gets
a couple of
it.
shows, but I don't want to spoil them. I think she will get her comeuppance, but I think her comeuppance is death, not jail with taking responsibility. I think she just loses in the end and has to be stopped.
Member for 31 months, probably the longest member I have. Sonic, your boy, he fully understands the ending of Lost. You might, you quite possibly. I didn't even get to the ending of Lost, so I didn't even get to it. I got too much shit to watch, too many shows to watch. I didn't get to the ending on. I like the first season. Second season is going well too. It's just that basically when you deal with that 30 episode seasons, it's hard for me.
I love it. Let's just do a 24 rewatch. People seem excited about that, Tony. Let's just jump in Jack Bauer's world instead.
Yeah, I'll do it. I can definitely. Well, they're supposed to have a movie. It's supposed to be a movie coming out, like a real movie coming out of 24.
We'll see. I know Kiefer's been trying for a while. Kiefer's been trying.
They announced. I think they announced it this year. Something happened this year about that. It's in development and everything else. Like the script is done and everything else and all that. So it's supposed to be a direct pickup where he goes off with the Russians and they pick up right from there.
I mean, the final season had Catelyn Stark as a villain, which was really cool. Catelyn Stark was pretty good.
She was good. She was good at the.
She was great. She was great. She spoiler alert. She's only in part of the season, but what she was in, she was very good.
Yeah, I thought Mara 1 was the best villain. Or Mara 1, the terrorist Mara 1. I thought he was the best villain when they did it. I liked him.
Because he matched Jack on everything. Tony was good. But anyways, sorry for the aside, everyone. Let's get back. We'll get back to Yellowjackets.
Yeah, back to Yellowjackets and everything. All right. We also see in the trailer that car comes out of like Fast and the Furious. I keep hearing people. I mean, I don't know who's doing that spin around like that. People thinking that's Mitzi's man.
Yeah, that's Elijah
coming
Wood.
out of nowhere, doing that spin around. Yeah, Elijah Wood. You think it's possible it could be him?
I mean, why would he be? He's going. That's with Shauna and Melissa.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Shauna is at this time chasing. Well, Melissa's running. We don't see Shauna. We just see Melissa running, and then all of a sudden that car comes like Fast and the Furious into this parking spot. Like
It might be Misty. It might be Misty finding. But how would she know where Shauna is?
That's the whole.
No, like
how would
okay.
she know? How would this dude know?
So
unless they're
so
tracking,
that
he could be tracking her phone.
He could be tracking her phone. It could be Alex. I was saying that earlier. It could be Alex tracking Melissa somehow. But
she got these driving. Who has these driving skills to pull that maneuver? That's not an easy maneuver to pull off. It's not easy.
Maybe she's been getting Tony. Maybe she's been getting lessons from Vin Diesel. Maybe she's part of the family. Maybe she's in the family with Vin Diesel and the rest.
It would be crazy. It would be funny if it was Mitzi. It would be real funny if she's the one who pulls the maneuver. But if she's doing it, are they cutting Melissa off at that time, preventing her from running, or saving her? I think they're cutting her off, right? It can't be Shauna.
They're cutting her off to help kill.
Yeah, if they make that Shauna doing that maneuver, I'm gonna have to call bullshit on this thing. I really, I'm really gonna have to I understand it's a comedy and everything else, but this is just too aggressive with it. It's just too much. Like
Tony, if she can do. Oh, sorry. I think I'm on delay for a second. Tony, if she can do the Crocodile Dundee, she can do the Fast and the Furious.
I guess. And that's what made me stop watching Black Mafia Family. Like I as soon as they had Big Meats drive backwards down the road at 100 miles per hour, as soon as they did that with Big Meats and that shit, that was the end of Black Mafia Family. When I seen that shit, I was like, this is ridiculous. All right, now you're gone too far. Now all of a sudden, Big Meats is better than a NASCAR driver. All of a sudden, the dude used a drug deal in the street. He ain't got no driving skills. Come on, man. You don't in the city. You don't even learn how to drive that great because you usually take public transportation. It ain't like you're upstate where a lot of these guys do that, because they're from the country because they got all these open roads. But once they did that, that was the end of that show. It was done there. Jenna Johnson says, "I think it's Mitzi." I believe that it could be Mitzi. It could be her in the car without a doubt.
And do you think it could be Walter? Do you also think it might be Walter?
Kill Melissa? Why would Mitzi want to kill Melissa? Like, this is Shauna's beef, and everything that she explained to Shauna is 100% feasible. There's nothing she said that could not have happened the way she said it.
Tony, do you know what Misty might? Do you know what Misty might want to be pissed at Melissa if she sees her as like, "Oh, you're alive, and I thought you were dead. You lied to me." She might be pissed enough to be like, "You're a threat to us now, so I'll have to take care of you."
I can't see Mitzi when she kills people. It's very delicate in a woman way. You know what I mean? The other one was accidental. So I can't give her anything like that, but she's a poisoner or something like that. Not a cold-blooded
not necessarily kill, not just necessarily kill, just stop. Why she might be pulling the car around to like get her and capture her. I think Shauna or Ty is going to kill her. Like Shauna or Ty are more the killers of the group.
Yeah. And Ty is just, Ty is not really a killer. We haven't seen it. I really take people unless it's the dog or something.
Evil Ty can kill. Evil Ty can fucking kill.
Yeah, I believe she definitely can kill. There's no doubt about it. It's really Shauna. it's Shauna. Shauna is the psychopath.
Yeah, you're right. It's really.
It's just Shauna's the psychopath. But yeah, Walter could be Walter. Mitzi calls Walter because they're stranded in the hospital. They need to get a ride. Walter's already been tracking them. "Oh, I'll be right there, hun." And he shows right up, and then they decide to go out there and then see this whole chase thing going down. I just don't know how. I know if Van was there, there's no way Van would allow them to kill her.
Okay, the
Val would
wall kind of like totally Van would not allow them to do that. But with Walter, maybe Misty texts Walter that Shauna ditched us, and somehow Misty and Walter can track Shauna's location via her cell phone. So she sends Walter to go find Shauna, and he steps in. So that's why it would be Walter.
Yeah, or she jumps in the car with him, and they're all in the car with him. Van stays at the hospital. He sees Taisha stays with Van. She jumps in the car with Walter. They head out there, and then they happen to be on the same road with this whole chase where she jumps out the car and everything else. And then that's how it could go down and everything. All right, we've written part of the show for you. We'll see if
we exactly did it. Right. Tony, we worked the writer's room on that one, and we came up with it. We broke the story. We broke it. We broke it. If that's not what they do, you should have us in the writer's room. We can figure this shit out for you, motherfuckers.
100%. So that's probably what happened. He does the backwards 360 maneuver, gets in her way, but I still don't see Mitzi letting Shauna kill her unless Shauna just does it in front of him, and then that's it. But if Shauna does that,
who's going to stop Shauna?
Huh? They can't stop her. If she wants to kill her, she's going to kill her. They're not going to be able to
stop who's going to stop Shauna?
Exactly. Yeah, they could delay it. Like, whoa. Let's talk about this real quick. But if Shauna really wants to do it, she's going to do it. And that's it. And we see that she's got, a scar like on her arm. Like lower down, not where the bite happened, and some more bruises and more blood coming down. So I hate if they kill her. I want Hilary Swank in the show.
Yeah, and that, but it does seem like they're leaning towards it would be very unlikely for her to survive the season.
Yeah, I don't think she makes it out the season, but hopefully she makes it at least to the last episode. So you think that one finale basically ends on for the wilderness, and then the other one is for like the big one. So let's say this whole thing wraps up for the main cast with the death of this chick, finding out who killed Lottie. We'll find out who killed Lottie at the last episode, but this wraps up Melissa's thing, this storyline. And then the next storyline wraps up who killed Lottie, the death of Kodiak. And then we go into next season like that. Or do you think they time jump it and then all of a sudden there's snow on the floor? And we get the Pit Girl at the end of this season, and it ends with the reveal of Pit Girl, and then we end that way.
I think we don't do a time jump and we just get some form of what you were saying spelled out in some different way. Spelled out whether they conclude those stories in that necessary order or in a different order. I think this season ends with the conclusion of the Kodiak story in the woods and the conclusion of the Melissa story. I'd be very surprised. I want it too. I would love to see Hilary Swank stay on the show. But it's hard for me to imagine her storyline ends any other way without, like you were saying earlier, without Shauna or her dying at this point. She has pinned her down, bit a chunk of her arm out, and told her to eat it. There's only a few ways that situations like that end, Tony. Someone's gonna die. It's television here. Someone in television needs to die right now.
What I had down. Hey, I think that definitely they're gonna end her this season. Again, you can't ask for Hilary Swank to join the cast. I don't see her as a TV actress that she'd be willing to join the cast. I think she's just willing to come in and do a cameo scene, and call it a day for that. And I don't think we get the Pit Girl answer. The only way we get it is if they do a time jump. We do see them make the spikes.
Yeah, me neither.
So, you know what I mean? So the spikes in the pit is set. I don't know if they end it with Pit Girl this season. The next season they have to be rescued because they get rescued a little bit after that, and then they show them in real time, like as young people back when they first got back? Do you think they go to that, or do you think that the young people storyline ends once
I hope
they're
so.
out? With what? Which one? You hope what? Which one?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's a good question. I think it depends on how long this show lasts. I think if this show is going 5 seasons, which I think would probably be ideal, we should probably get a little of that of them as teenagers or when they get back. At least a little. That would be interesting to kind of see how they get back into the flow of things. But it does seem. Do you think this show ends next season? Or do you think it ends in? Do you think it has more seasons to go? Do you think they stretch this? Does it end in 4 or 5, Tony, or even more? MM in the live chat says can't go past 5.
No, I can't see it going past 5 seasons.
Yeah,
I don't think they could stretch it that far.
I agree.
don't see that. I don't think they have enough
It
material.
feels like it's getting close. It feels like the end is coming. Like if they stretch this longer, it's gonna feel weird. Like they could almost end it with next season. Like they could almost end it in 4.
I think that probably would be ideal. But if the ratings were that good, they may tell them give me 2 more.
Yeah.
But I think that it seems like it's most likely going to end next season. I think would be the end. It seems like the combination ends next season, because unless they do a full season of these chicks when they get back, they would have to do a full season of them when they get back and them adapting to everything. Then you have to have another season on top of that. All right. So that's a lot of stuff going on. I really think most likely it would be next season. It ends next season. This is it.
The problem is, I agree with you. The problem is the island, the jungle season stuff. They could stretch that, and then a season of them coming back. They could stretch that a long time. They could stretch that more than 5 seasons.
Yeah, but you would have. It depends how many people get killed of the girls by this season. Like, right. If you still have, because we know there's a couple more that have to die. If you kill one of the girls and you have a couple of more, then you could have a whole season with Hannah and them being captured there, right?
Absolutely. The problem, though, is the adult stuff. The adult stuff feels like it's reaching an end. It feels like I don't know where else you go with that after Sean has crossed these lines, unless you go really wacky comedy or completely supernatural. Like people are dying all over the place. Van's gone now. You're down to like a handful of characters. Sean is murdering people and biting people's arms off. Like that storyline needs to hit a conclusion pretty fucking soon, Tony. Like the adult stuff needs to come to a head. Like the island stuff, the all that stuff can kind of go as long as you want it to go. But the stuff at home feels like that can't stretch too much longer.
There's no other channel. There's no other channel. There's no other where it can go. They can't go anywhere else with it.
Yeah, think about that. Exactly. Where else are they going to go at this point?
This is the end of the story. You got this one last reveal of this chick. You're going to have some other chick come out and that they didn't know was alive. They've done that already. So that's already done.
Exactly.
So where else can you go? You can have Mitzi versus Shauna at the end. You know, there's really not a lot of places for them to go anymore here. So I think me personally that it's just going to be one more season and they're ended next season.
Yeah. Well, I'd say probably next season, maybe 5, no more than 5.
It won't go longer than 5. It's impossible. I can't see it. Just like when I look at From, listen, I would want From to go 10 years. All right. They could keep developing the story to go that far, but in the end, if they want to do it right and end it right, you go 5.
You go 5. You set up the ending. You set up the ending in this coming season, and then you end it in 5.
And you end it in 5, and you call it a day. If because it's just gonna get stale It's like there's only so much you can do with these monsters chasing people and all. There's only so many people in the town. You go, they have a device to bring new characters in all the time. The only way it works, and to me, is you have to wipe the board, except for Harold, basically, and then bring in a whole new cast for him to work with. You'd have to get rid of everybody for them to keep continuing after 5. You'd have to have such a major catastrophe happen, and then like it gets reset.
Yeah, you go like the Matrix, where he's like Neo and he has to do it all over again with a new set of people or something like that.
Exactly. That would be the only way. But you'd have to wipe the board of everybody. They all would have to die, and it would just have to be Harold again. And now it's a brand new time with him there and everything else. That's the only way From works if you go beyond 5 seasons, in my opinion. Because there's only so many times you can have these monsters do these things. And blah, blah, blah. You've done it. And you've already gotten to know all these people. I don't need to see them anymore. You wipe the board. You kill everybody. You make it really dramatic. And now Harold's here. And here's another busload of people. And now he's got to deal with these new people and their attitudes and convince them everything else and get them to that point.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with these mystery box shows. I think the important thing is having the story be as long as it needs to be to tell the story. I think shows too much in too many cases sort of are trying to make a show to be how long can we make it. I think what makes Severance, Yellowjackets, and From different than the other shows that have come since Lost trying to capture that mystery box thing is they feel like they have a narrative that they want to tell and finish. And I think any of these shows, all 3 of them, what they share, Tony, is they don't feel like they could go longer than 5 seasons, like 4 or 5 seasons. All 3 of them. I feel like Severance needs to end next season. I feel like From has 2 years left, like at best, to do that story right. I feel like this show could end next year and be perfect. Like, I don't want to see them stretch like The Walking Dead. This isn't a network show like Lost that has 30 episodes a season for fucking 7 seasons or whatever it was. Like these are different ways of storytelling. These are mini series, mini movies. Like it has to be just perfect, or people lose their attention. The way there's too much shit. So yeah, there's just too much shit.
You can't be a one-trick pony. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. We have gotten to the height of Crazy Shauna in this episode.
100%.
How far can you have her go after you've seen her do? There's no further. This is
dude. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, you can't go farther than that.
No, you can't go further. This is it. You can't. She's not crazier than this. So, you could get away with, the first guy she killed was an accident and go Earth, and there's no book club and all these other things, right? You can go, but now we've seen the beast unleashed, and that you can't go back, and she can't go any further. You can't go, all right, we're going to make Shauna do something even more disgusting. This is as disgusting as it gets. You've done it. Next time it gets done, it won't be the same effect. It'll be like for father.
Tony, you're a musician. You play. It's like you don't go out there necessarily in your first song and do your like craziest tricks. You build up to it, and you want to go out on like the craziest shit. Like we've seen craziest Shauna. To your point, we don't. If she goes any further, we get into mustache twirly stuff. Yeah. Like it's like this is like she went island Shauna. She went full out. Anything more at this point is what's she gonna do? Okay, let's play Shauna headcanon. Like what's Shauna's mindset right here? Okay, so Shauna is going to and you talked about this in the video. She's gonna kidnap her, and she says to her, as you say in the video, she says, "You know how this ends, right?" So that means you think you mentioned, and I agree with you. That means she's like, you know how this ends. If I said to you, like, and I didn't know you, like, Tony, we're going to go with you know how this ends. You know how this shit ends, Tony. We're talking about we all fucking die. We all don't want to be depressing, but we all fucking die. Yeah, there's only one way this all ends, everybody. We all fucking die. And so and yours is going to come a little sooner. That's the vibe I got. Today is a good day to die, and this might be your day. So that's the vibe I got. So if you're Shauna right now, if you've gone this far, you need to kill her and get rid of the body, right? That's your mindset.
Yeah.
So does she call the girls for help? Does she call that, or when in this situation?
Because I don't know, because this chick, it seems like she escapes and is running down the road. There's cars going back on the other side of the road, so it's not like it's an abandoned road. It seems like she's running down. The van, someone told me it's not the same color van as Shauna. I'll dispute that from the way it looked. It could be, who knows? But it doesn't, but she runs, she can get hit and get killed, whatever. In the end, one of them's got to die. And I think that when Melissa dies, that will trigger the downfall of events for Shauna to get bagged up in the end. Like, this was the road too far. I've said it before. And I think that's because you can't, as you said, you can't keep going. What's the next big thing she could do? Kill this chick, chop her body up, and feed it to a family without them knowing. Are they really going to go that far? Are they going to do it for 5 beans and have them do it again? Are you going to see the adults?
I want a Keontae, Tony.
Eat somebody.
I want a Keontae with her.
You think they'll do that? Do we think they will have the adults eat somebody in there?
Ooh.
Call away. While they're back. Good day, you bloody legends. Thank you so much, Carl. I appreciate it. You're a legend. You're a legend. Thank you for all this. We love Carl away. Do you think that's what they do? They have them eat somebody in real time as adults?
I mean, like, first of all, we're running out of people. Okay, so when we're talking about who's going to eat now, we got to say, is Shauna, I just want to be very specific to what we're saying at this point now. So Van is going to die, or Van is in fucking hospice, which scares, as someone that deals with that same shit, scares the fucking shit out of me. I don't even want to fucking talk about Van's storyline right now, but whatever. Van's going to fucking end up in fucking hospice. So is Shauna going to make Ty and Misty eat it? No. Ty and Misty are going to tell her to go fuck herself. Like no fucking.
Missy's not eating anybody. And Missy's not eating any. Those days is over. But we did see
Ty isn't
her.
either.
Yeah, she's not eating. But we did see her, at the supermarket with body parts in the styrofoam. So could it be that? And we've seen her kill a rabbit and throw it in the thing right there. That she take this body back and just feed it to her family? Like she's a fucking nut, and they don't even know it.
She's more likely to do that than let Shauna get her to eat anything. I mean, that's a good question. Or to vary this over to a different topic and around this subject. So our only 2 people besides, if we're going to accept that Van unfortunately isn't going to make this unless it's supernatural. Yeah. The only 2 Yellowjackets left are Ty and Misty, right?
Yeah.
Besides Hillary Swank, Ty, Misty, and Melissa, right? Unless they do the Uncle Poochie Yellowjacket again, like they play the game again. Hi, I'm the next Yellowjacket that's come back. And this is kind of Tony's point. If next season we go through this again, then we get into Walking Dead stupid territory. That's like, we've got another governor, and hi, I'm the next governor. Let me be the next villain. Like, we don't need to be introduced. We did this game. I don't want any other Yellowjackets faking their own death. We've done that. We've played that card now, which is cool. It was a good card. We did it. Tony knew what it was. He called it. But they played the card. Some people bought it. I bought it. Tony didn't buy it, but some people bought it. They played the card. But it is what it is. But they can't do that shit again, right, Tony? You can't go to the well again. So there's no more fucking hidden Yellowjackets. So. Yeah. The only 2 Yellowjackets alive are Ty and Misty, correct? Am I missing anybody besides Melissa?
No, you're right.
So how are Ty and Misty going to react to what the fuck Shauna's doing right now?
That's what it comes down to. How are they going to react? How they're going to deal with it? And then where does it leave them for next season? What's next season? Like, if they kill Melissa, the next season has to be them trying to escape getting caught for it.
Yeah, 100%, like running from the fucking police season. Is that? Are we gonna get that? Are we gonna get that? Running from the police season?
I don't know if they'll run, but it'll be everything coming back from the aftermath of them getting interrogated. We already seen them get interrogated before. They already took out police officers before. It has to be something like that to the point where they eventually just get bagged up for it and everything.
Tony, how dark comedy are we going to get here, or is this going to stay relatively serious? Like, are we going to get to the point where Shauna turns into Serial Mom? Like, people have seen the Kathleen Turner movie Serial Mom, like, or it turns like funny, like Weeds, where she's on the run and the cops are just silly and Nancy's on the run again. It just goes to place, and now, like, is it going to be serious? Because if it's serious, Shauna does not come out of this, Tony. Like,
yeah, no, she's not coming out. It's got to be more serious than that, and she's definitely not coming out of this.
Her husband is going to give her. I'll say it again. Her husband is too much an innocent. If he finds out what she's doing and that she's got another body, he's giving her up. He's fucking giving her up.
It could end her killing him. She might, because again, she does say that the only way to be really safe is to be the last one left.
So do you think she has it in her to kill? Yes, she does. Why am I even asking this fucking question?
Yeah,
she would totally kill her fucking husband in a fucking second.
100%. She might kill her husband, but she might try to kill Mitzi, and she might try to kill Todd to be the last one left, to be that safe.
Stanson, thank you for being the only person that gets my fucking Serial Mom reference. I appreciate that. It's one of my favorite movies too. I love that fucking movie. Sorry.
Thank you for that, Steve, for the super chat. Really appreciate it.
Get
and everything else. Yeah, we gotta wrap this up anyway, and get this thing, get up out of here. We've been on here almost 2 hours and stuff. Ain't gonna keep you on a Tuesday night. You know, people gotta get up early and stuff like that, and go to work and do all those good things. So we'll be back during the week, maybe. We'll be back. You know, definitely we'll be back soon and stuff. There's a new show I'll start to cover. It comes out tomorrow and stuff on the next day. It takes 2 days. It does. So I'll get that dropped out there and everything else, and we'll start rocking with that. And we'll be back later on in the week to keep this moving and all that good stuff and everything else. Phil, you got anything else coming on a new thing? Sonic your boy, the answer is no.
A couple of weeks, like, I didn't realize it was so soon, but a couple of weeks, Joe and I will be doing the Last of Us stuff.
Yeah.
But so getting
it's the week after next.
I think it's the week after next. I think it's the 13th or something like that.
Yeah, because when this White Lotus goes off, it takes its place.
Yeah, it takes over. It takes over the situation.
Yeah,
so what do you think? I haven't been watching this season of White Lotus. Does it rank up there with? Yeah,
it's much better than the last one and everything. Jay Sleek, I would like to cover 9 Bodies in the Mexican Law. but in all honesty, there's no views there for it. So there's a lot of shows I would like to cover, but it's not like so. Let me put it like this, and I mean no disrespect, so please don't take it in any way. I'm just stating the obvious and the fact. If it's just me standing here in front of the camera and I can just talk about the show, which I could do that. I've done that before. It's a lot easier. I could talk about any show there is because I could just sit here and do it. But when it comes down to me editing a video that takes 7 hours or whatever it takes, it's more of a commitment for me to do that. So in order for me to commit to do that, I have to receive enough views to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, make it
the views I would get from that. It just doesn't make spending those 7 hours worthwhile. You know?
Yeah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I've also been watching the Daredevil season. It's been pretty good. It's not as good as the old series, but it's like you're watching, you're drinking Coke Zero, not the real Coke, but it's good. It's good, but it's Coke Zero good. You know what I mean? It's like it's not quite.
It's not. They're not there yet, and it's
Coke Zero. It's Coke Zero. It's totally.
Yeah,
Coke
I don't know why they even bring it back not to be there. You should have been there if you came back with the show. You know what I mean?
It's okay. The performances are still good, but what they're doing with it feels a little bit formulaic. It feels a little bit more.
It's Daredevil season 1. I mean, a lot of things aren't. You know what I mean? A lot
Tony,
of things
I have a sneaky weird suggestion. This is only for people that like network shows type things. But my cousin suggested this to me, so I ended up watching it, and it was actually the only thing I can say is it was lovely. It was like a lovely watch. the new Matlock starring Kathy Bates on Paramount
Yeah.
Plus. If people haven't watched that, it's actually not fucking bad. Like, it's a good watch. It's got a good cast. They all have chemistry with each other. It's funnier than you would think, and it's more clever than you would think. And Kathy Bates is as awesome as always. If anything, it's worth seeing Kathy Bates so much on a show. It's not. I'm not gonna cover it. I'm not gonna talk about it. It's not as good as, like, it's not a great show, but it's actually, I liked watching it, Tony. I had fun watching. It was like
I watched the first episode and I didn't watch it again. I mean, it was good, but it just didn't draw me. But Watson's not a bad show either. Like, Watson is a good show. If y'all like watching medical dramas and stuff, Watson is a very good show.
Yeah, Watson's pretty good. Same way. They're like just good procedural.
Yeah.
Those kind of shows.
It's one of those shows you could put on the background if you have to. Walk away, grab a snack. You're not missing nothing. You know what I mean? Go back and watch it and sit down and watch it. Now, all these shows we cover where your mind's got to be like this when you're watching the whole thing.
Yeah, you can't cut your head. Okay, before we end the last 5 minutes here, 10 minutes, 50 minutes that we have here, this is everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in on both channels, especially Tony's channel. And I feel like it's like that Johnny Carson raw joke. It's like 57 million and two people. I got my two people at the end. But I'm gonna say this. I shouldn't say this shit. But if you haven't watched the end of Severance, we're not gonna spoil. I'm just curious of Tony's thoughts. We're gonna talk a few seconds about the end of Severance season 2. Right. Tony, what were your thoughts at the end of season 2?
I was upset that I didn't figure it out, and I should have known. And I feel stupid looking back at it that I didn't know that was the way it was going to go down. To me, it's a good ending. It's not the ending of season 1, but to me, the problems of making it work is what I see. To be realistic and make that actually work, that he's basically kidnapped himself in this place. They're in this building that they can't leave. To me, the problem is easily solved by just sending the cops up in there, grabbing them up and throwing everybody out. Like, it's like too easy to solve that way. Like, to me, it's not even a problem. Like, you get the SWAT team, you go in there, somebody died in the building, you pull everybody out, blah, blah, blah. They go away and it's averted, right? So I don't know how they could actually make it realistic that these people could just stay up in there and no one can go in there.
That's the thing. They sort of paused on realism in a way, in a lot of ways. At the end there, that Lumen only apparently has one security guy. You know, that one single, you know, that whatever his name was, you know, the big scary dude. I think what they chose to do at the end there was more focus on like character emotional things and go against any necessary logic, just to kind of focus in on the feelings aspect of it. And I thought from that point, it worked really well in the sense of, especially with the Miss Casey character, like what she went through, her whole thing, and the cutting between, like you get that moment when the two of them come together. And I feel like the problem was you wasted an episode on Patricia Arquette's character and the huffing the ether shit. Like, that shouldn't have been a whole episode. So you jumped a little bit into that finale. You needed a little bit more of a guiding in. I agree it's not as good as season 1, but season 1 is one of those all-time finishes. But again, like I was saying earlier, Tony, where do you really go from here? Except for ending the show. Like how do you unless you can make a reset?
It's almost over. You know what I mean? To me, it's almost over because it gets to the point where you don't have to be in the building anymore. And then now the show is done. Everyone leaves the job. And now that whole thing is over unless you start over with new characters or something. But this to me, when I look at the ending, it's just going to be an unrealistic season next season that these people, they can't get these people out the building.
Tony, like, you mean unrealistic? Like there's a whole department of a marching band, but not a security department?
Yeah. I thought that when the smoke came in, that they were gassing them and gonna like knock them out.
I thought some crazy. The marching band was awesome, very Twin Peaks. I don't think enough gets talked about Severance being very Twin Peaks like too. It has that sort of surreal David Lynch vibe to it, where just randomly a marching band. Milchek, this guy, you were talking about award season. He better get nominated for fucking something. He had an amazing acting season, and And
He did.
and I hope we do. I hope we see John Turturro and Christopher Walken again. But it seems like their storyline's over. Like, how do you?
It's done. When they put him in the train, he put him in the train to die. He's dead.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing with me. With he's in the train, and if you watch it and everything else, right when he's about to leave, the dog cries. Like he's in the car with the dog, and the dog cries like that. And I think that dog crying was to let you know that he's going to his death, and that's what he's going to. And you know, Tony Soprano style there or something like that. But that's just what it is. So you know, again, it's a good show. It was a good season. Nothing I would say it's not as good as Adolescence. 4 episodes, no, not close. It's a different level of
what's a better show, Shogun or Severance? I think that's a better competition for like television show on for what. I mean, I know Shogun's going to have a second season, but if we're comparing, I think those are the 2 best shows on regular. You know what I mean? Like, besides, I haven't seen this yet, but the 2 like between those 2 shows, what it's trying to do better for you? Severance.
I would prefer. I prefer Shogun because it's got more action, and I need that. I'm going to go with the action show over it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm going with the action stuff over it.
Shogun was incredible. Yeah.
So it keeps me going that way with Shogun. That's why. As for a mystery box show and all that, Severance is an amazing show, and it's nothing's being taken away from it by saying that. To me, it's just Shogun is a better show.
Is From your favorite of the 3 mystery boxes?
Yeah, I like From better.
Me too. I think
I like From better than Severance. I like From better than all those shows. I enjoy From. I think it's more digestible. I think Severance is too highbrow. You know, it's kind of like Constellation. Like Constellation is a great show, but it's too highbrow. You have to pay attention, but it makes you think too much. There's a point where overdoing things, where you overdid it. You put too much mystery in it, too much of that, where it doesn't make the show enjoyable anymore. And
I hear you.
That's what happened with Constellation. They put too much stuff in there, too hard to follow, where the show wasn't enjoyable. And I think that Severance didn't go there, but they're at the cusp of it. You know what I mean? Like they're straddling the line.
Last question from me, Tony, and this isn't this is completely like it's gonna out of left. But does Duncan Egg have a chance to be one of the best shows on television? Does it have a chance to be better than House of the Dragon? And I think yes. Does it have a chance to capture some of that Game of Thrones energy that House of the Dragon has not been able to capture?
I don't know if it can capture the Game of Thrones energy, but I think it can get its own because of the story. When we seen Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones like at its best is when you were able to follow a character through a whole story. Mm-hmm. Arya and Harrenhal with Tywin, right? Absolutely. That whole thing, right? That whole one story made that show. And I think you capture that with Duncan Egg, and you get that kung fu vibe.
Yeah. Incredible Hulk, kung fu vibe.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk, the A-Team, where they just go from town to town and solve problems.
Yeah, and beat the shit out of everyone in town to town. And have yeah.
So I think you get that. And I think with that, it can carve out its own thing. Because when you look at House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon is doing what I think they're trying to do.
It's dry, and Tony, and it's like dry too. Like I feel like what House of the Dragon does not get that Game of Thrones got. It's not funny. It's not lighthearted. It doesn't have a great time. Early Game of Thrones also just has a good time.
And they try to do things just to do it better than Game of Thrones. Like, all right, Game of Thrones is known for battles. We're going to do a battle 10 times set. It's not the battle. It's what led to the battle.
Yeah.
That made like when you get the battle of Ramsay Bolton and Jon Snow, the battle itself was great, but it's everything that led to that one moment to get that battle that made the battle good. When you get to the battle at the wall, or the best one of them all, Harrenhal, I mean, to me, Hardhome, still, even without effect, still the best of them all. It's the leading up to the White Walkers, and now you see the White Walkers really come and whoop that ass. And it was all that lead up that made that battle good. And I think that they're not fleshing out enough the battles. They're just giving you battle because they know people want to see dragons. They want to see battle. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one.
And Tony, to your point about trying to just always one up it, it's like in this episode, in this one, the schemer guy is obsessed with Catelyn Stark and sort of does everything and manipulates. In this other one, the manipulator is obsessed with the girl and he has a foot fetish. Oh, he has a foot fetish. It's even more intense. You know, it's like it's got the foot fetish.
Not only is he infatuated her, but he's got a big club foot and he likes feet.
Exactly. Not only the brother and sister incest, they're uncle and niece, and they're gonna do it like in people's face, and it's gonna be awesome. You know, like so. To your point, I totally see that.
They're just trying to one up it and do everything one up instead of going their own way. And I think that's the problem with House of the Dragon. I think that's why it'll never be game.
Sorry, I opened up the foot door. I opened up the fetophilia. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. But yeah, that's it, Tony. I just wanted
whatever y'all are into in the chat, we're not trying to make fun of you. You know, listen, if you like it, you like it. We're not trying to don't think we're trying to make fun of your lifestyle. You know, we're not. All right.
I feel like the end of
don't stop watching. All right.
Tony, I feel like at the end of all of our Yellowjackets or whatever we do in our Tuesday or Wednesday stuff, we should just open it up to free form for the last 15 minutes. So, you know, like
all right.
where we just talk about whatever. So
all right, we'll do that from now on. All right, people, you know we got nothing but love for you. If you like the way we do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the room, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.